Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa and I'll be your collective tarot reader here today on February 27th, 2026. But if you find this reading much farther down the road, do not worry. You clicked into this reading because you felt there is a message here for you and your guides are just trying to reveal something. Now, if you are my returning listeners, welcome back again. You are more than welcome to go ahead and dive into the timestamp below within the descriptions. You already know how this works. You already know how these readings kind of operate. And there's no shame in skipping the intro. And if you are new here to this channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Go ahead, sit down, get cozy, and just know that when I start these intros off, I always want to make sure that I am at least taking care of someone if they do have a birthday today. So if you didn't have anyone celebrate your birthday this year and it's already passed, then this is my opportunity to say happy birthday, happy belated birthday, and thank you for making another trip around the world with us today. Always here. I always want my mystics to know that they matter and I want them to feel celebrated. And if you haven't had anything to celebrate, now's the time to do so. Even if it's something really crazy, it could be I got my paycheck today, or I woke up today and I accomplished something. I did my laundry, or I actually stepped outside of the house and got to see the sun for a little bit. Find something to celebrate today, even if it feels ridiculous. I'm giving you permission to do so. And, leading into my disclaimers before I run away and forget them. So I can only share, any kind of personal experience I may have had. If I feel like this reading has something that I may be, I have a connection with, but I cannot give professional advice as much as I wish I could. That is one thing that I'm thinking about, doing for the long run is maybe going back to school and getting a psychology degree or a professional counseling license, so that way I feel like I would probably be able to help people more with but that's much farther down the road for me. But always try to take these readings with the thought in the back of your mind that if something is not resonating, there are reasons why. Either this message is for another person. This could even be someone that if it sounds just like them, or you're starting to pick up like this energy is sounding like you, but it's the kind of energy that you would give to somebody else. So if you feel like you want to share this reading, you are more than welcome to do so. The more people we help in the collective, the more we are better as a human being. And I truly believe that. And you could also take this information if it does not sound like anybody and it's just not clicking, write down what you hear that may be very useful, and then put it on a shelf like a library. And then when it's time, when something like this does occur, you know what to do with it. And you are successful. You have the tool, you have the guidebook, you have everything you need in order to build whatever manifestation you are trying to build today with this knowledge. And that's something to celebrate, even is the more that you add to your mind. But I'm excited and I want to make sure you know that you have the wheel in your hands. So think in the back of your mind, what do you need in order to drive this? I heard boat. Oh my goodness. What are you driving? What are you sailing? And what do you need in order for you to get from point A to point B while we are doing this reading? But before I go anywhere else, let's go and dive into this reading. So I'm going to kick it off by breaking the ice with my crystal grid deck. So we have Chrysocolla here. Earth, unconditional love, cleanse. Known for cleansing the aura of toxins, Chrysocolla is a great crystal to use when experiencing high stress levels and burnout. The surface of Chrysocolla resembles pristine oceanic views, and this aerial vantage point helps you gain perspective on situations hitting too close to home. Take a step back when those situations arise and remember to prioritize your needs first. Deeply connected to the energy of the earth, Chrysocolla reminds us to get in touch with our feminine side, the part of us connected to our capacity for unconditional love. with Venus being in Gemini, Virgo, and Taurus. So first things first, guys, after this reading, I want you to think about something you can do that would be very good for your health, your body's health, your mental health, your emotional health. Whether that be maybe pulling out a journal, maybe writing some things down, things that, you need to get off your chest, or maybe you've been letting everything sit up in your mind and now it needs to have somewhere to go so that way you can find, other ways to let those levels, especially if you're starting to feel stress, start to build up for whatever reason. But if you have been neglecting, feeding your body water, that is one thing I am always going to support is, remember to drink water. It's very important for your body's functions and your mental well-being. And as you are drinking it, imagine that you are being recharged. Your voice is being recharged. You are able to see how clear you are each time you take a drink. And so that's another thing, just make a plan after this reading to go ahead and find something to take care of yourself. Maybe take a bubble bath or, take your shoes off, go step out in nature and actually feel the grass or the dirt or just really connect with earth. Maybe lay down and look at the sky. Even if this comes to you at nighttime, look at the night sky and see all the stars and all the expanse. So that way you can see how connected you are with, your spiritual team even. But, what are some symptoms of, burnout signs? And you could actually research this and Google this up for you, especially if there's someone around you and you're like, okay, I'm starting to notice some things about, this loved one I have, or, you're like uncertain for yourself. What could be a potential burnout sign? So that way you can put the brakes on and take advantage of what your guides are trying to reveal before it actually comes through. Notice how tired you may be, or if you're just tired and it's like you do get your 8 hours of sleep, but you still feel exhausted when you wake up. You may even find that, you lack that motivation to do something that you're very skilled at, that reduced performance. And people may be picking up on that. It's like, you're kind of like foggy. And normally you're very detailed with what you are turning in, but like when you sent the email, for some reason you sent it to the dry cleaner, and that's not something you would normally do. Just be aware when you're starting to make those little hiccups, so that way you can like say, oh gosh, I may need to take a vacation, or I need to step away from my routines that are going on. Another thing to kind of think about is if you start to see things as being like the glass is half full. It isn't even full. It's half full. I can see it draining, and you can just see like, a rainy day really tears you up. Or, when someone calls you and says, hey, I just got a flat tire, and that just you are just so upset about it. And you may normally be that type of person that would be like, oh my God, are you okay? Oh my gosh, I will be there right away. And then when you are going through a burnout stage, you're not thinking about perhaps like that other person. You're just like, oh my gosh, just another thing that just keeps going on. And so all of these things that are adding up over time, especially if you're starting to see delays or it's like one thing after another, you start to become very detached. So it's like you don't want to be at work, or you may find that you don't want to be at home, or you don't want to even participate in your passions and hobbies. And I know this is kind of sounding like depression, but I mean, these burnouts can cause you to lead into depression and give you that sense of like helplessness, like no one is going to be able to save you or be able to pull you out of this stage in your life that you're going through. And you may find that you're experiencing random illnesses, you are getting sick for no reason, and it's just like, why can't I just kick this? Why am I being it's like, where did my health and my vitality go? Why am I getting the stomach bug? Why does my head hurt? These are those typical signs that you need to pay attention to. So that way you can take care of your needs and, not feel as if everything is solely your responsibility, because that's the key here. It's when you are starting to feel trapped by the things that you feel responsible for. The things that, at one point did motivate you are no longer motivating you, because it's like you want someone else to kind of like take it off your shoulder for the time being. And, stop feeling pressure to perform, especially if you are already under stress. Open up, speak to a friend, someone that is close by you. Or if you find that you are in a leadership position, this is a great time to kind of say, am I delegating what I need to delegate in this moment? Or is there something that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing? Really redefine what your tasks are versus another. And if this is just a temporary situation, constantly remind yourself this is just a temporary situation that I am having to experience. And then, it could be that you are assisting a loved one who is going through something, and this is just a temporary situation. Make sure you have those timelines, those deadlines for like when this person needs to be able to get back up and run on their own again. And they understand that they have to be working on their life just as much as you were working on your life. That was a very specific message that just came through. But if you are helping another person, just make sure you are also being able to take care of your own needs today. Yourself, or your divine feminine and masculine oracle today, is release and let go just a bit and go with the flow. Actually go with the flow with what this energy is talking about. You know what's going on. You know your situation better than I do. So if this is already resonating and you haven't left, take some time to yourself. Your self-care, self-love oracle today is meditate. You're more powerful than you think. Yes, sit down, relax on your couch, wherever you find your sacred place is, and meditate. Anything that needs to be thought about more clearly, so that way you can, what is paying its rent versus what is not paying its rent, and what needs to go. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and dive into the energy that is kind of like trying to work with you today. We have Jupiter grow and expand in Sagittarius, optimism, exploration, and freedom, in the 8th house today. And I am loving that for you, because even though it feels like everything is stressful, let me tell you something about the energy that your guides recognize in you specifically. They see that you have this ability to almost be like a unicorn that can go out into the world, and you can find these 4-leaf clovers. You can do a scratch off ticket, and then it's just, wow, you have found the winning lottery ticket. And your guides say that the more that you allow yourself to see the good side to a situation, where you allow yourself to be optimistic and bring that kind of energy with you, the more those good opportunities are going to be able to present themselves to you. But luck is always on your side, especially with Jupiter, because Jupiter is a very lucky planet. And your spiritual team is next to you, and like anytime they see that you turn a rock over and you become very excited by whatever it is that you find, that lights them up, and they want to continue to show you all the little things that they want. It's like they're leaving you Easter eggs, if you will, like all these surprises, and they just love seeing your face light up. And just let, the key to opening these doors be that optimism. And when you find that you are stressed, find things to stimulate your mind, or even distract it, so that way you can see that silver lining, or, continue to find those 4-leaf clovers. But imagine all the things that, would help you make your cup overfill. If you think that it's, starting to lower itself, what would make, what is one pebble, one stone, one thing that you can add to that cup that would make you feel like, you have gold. You're drinking ambrosia, the actual thing that the gods use in order to be immortal. And, imagine that you're doing that. Like whenever you're drinking water after this video, I'm not saying I'm forcing you to, but I am saying I think you should, imagine that it's ambrosia. If you want a distraction from your life and you are someone that loves mysteries of life, like if you're someone that likes, the random occult things that people, normally don't tap into, if you like ghost stories, if you like supernatural things, if you just want to explore, mystical kinds of things, let that be one thing to help you take your mind off the situation. And, if you are struggling, one of the best things you can do is open up and ask your guides, what is something that I need to learn about this situation I'm going through? Like, what is the lesson here that is going to propel me into a more balanced, more abundant future? Because, this is expansive and abundant kind of energy that is coming through here. And yes, you may be having to work through any kind of karmic wound or karmic situation, but you've done a lot of that already in your life. And your guides are getting ready to kind of bless you with a lot of things. And I do see like these opportunities for growth will come from the situations that are most challenging to you. So face that crisis or upheaval that is going on in your life with, a sunny disposition. Be the sunflower that turns towards the light, and or even like this dark time, or like that burnout that I was talking about, be that sunflower that says, I'm going to make something good of this situation. It may have been not so good in the moment, but by changing your mind and seeing the possibility for, something good to come of it, that's going to be great for you. I feel that. And this, card duo even talks about inheriting something. So if you have found that you inherited something from a loved one, you will be able to find treasure buried in whatever it is that has been left to you. So this can talk about shared resources. The only thing that your guides are kind of wanting you to be aware of is to be very careful that you don't overdo it. If you just came in possession of a house that has a lot in it, and you feel very stressed about it, you're just like, I don't even know where to start in this house, or even trying to think about the condition of which that house is in. Is it something that you want to keep in your family, or is it something that you want to fix up and maybe live in for yourself? Or think about some of those old treasures that may be there. I mean, I'm someone that enjoys watching the show American Pickers, and I love watching them get excited about some of the oldest things that you don't even find anymore. Have that in the back of your mind that you're about to find a diamond. So long as you're being careful and, not trying to overdo it. You're not trying to climb in the rafters and fall through the ceiling. Be very safe and careful while you are going through this. Brown recluse spiders. I don't know why I thought of that. Be very careful when you're going into people's closets and, pulling out old clothes or, old furniture. Just be very mindful that you don't get bit. I will say that. But, just allow yourself to see if there is a rainy day. That rainy day is just meant to give you a break or a moment to recuperate. Maybe, you're someone that goes on a lot of adventures and, you're like, oh my God, I had these plans and I was supposed to do something with the sun being out. It was very crucial. But the good side of that is now you can kind of like go within and do any kind of meditation that you need to do to recharge yourself. So that way, when you have the energy to do something great, you will be able to do so, and you'll be able to pass that energy off to others. Now, the tarot energy that I have coming through today that is going to be kind of helping you with your relationships, your what you should be working on, your finances even. And I love that we do have the Ace of Pentacles kind of confirming this. An opportunity is being thrown at you. I say thrown at you. It is being given, but I do feel like you are being thrown something. And this is in the back of your mind. You can feel it. You already know that it is here. It's coming. And it's just a matter of, how do I prepare myself to take on this new opportunity? You may even feel as if there is a new career potential for you, and your guides are saying, all right, now you are already someone that will try to go above and beyond anytime something new occurs, and you want to invest all your time and energy into it. But you also should recognize that when you do that, you tend to forget about your basic needs. Here we have the Four of Swords and the Queen of Cups. So the one thing that your guides are wanting you to work on is self-care. That is the most big thing that you can do right now, and to relax. So that way, when you are lying down and you have all these things that you are focusing on or thinking about, at least when you are resting and you have your eyes closed, you are not thinking about all of these other distractions that are around you or what is being communicated to you. And you have that one sword, that one clear idea that is coming through, and it's coming through because you were trying to nurture and be that mother that you need in this moment, because the Queen of Cups is a very nurturing mother. This can even talk about someone that is coming into your life that has these qualities, or even if these court cards that are here, these can be people that are around you, are about to come in, or they are, things that you have within you that you hold and exemplify even. But this Queen of Cups she's trying to show you how to be more caring in the most difficult situations with yourself and with others, and to find ways that will help you be emotionally stable and trust your intuition so you can be more in flow with anything that is around you. Now, she can tell when other people are around you, and you may even feel this for yourself, when people are kind of pushing your buttons or trying to make you budge or take this opportunity and do something different with it. Or it could even, maybe people are trying to manipulate the situation, because the King being in reverse can talk about someone who is using your emotions to manipulate the situation in order to gain something from this. And you may be picking up on this, and this may be something that you are stressing out about, is how am I supposed to deal with all of these reverse kings that are coming through that feel like they have something that they are deserving of. It's like they're trying to show you their cup is empty, but they're the ones that emptied their cup out, and that's not your responsibility to fix that for them. But the King being in reverse, I will say the positive thing about a King being in reverse is this King is trying to show you ways in which you can find emotional stability when you find that your moods are all over the place, or that you are lacking a little bit of self-compassion. And one of the things he will recommend is to journal what you are thinking about. I know I kind of talked about that at the beginning of this video, but journaling is one. Now that I have her kind of like sitting on this bed, and it looks like this queen is leaning over and listening to what this lady has to say, hypnotherapy may be very beneficial to you. So that way, whatever is trapped within your mind and hasn't made it to the physical realm, because I did have this card in the subconscious aspect, then you will be able to bring that out. Anything that may, now these three swords up here do make me think that there was a situation that did not go according to plan in your past, and it felt as if there was a sense of betrayal here. But that may be for a specific person, but I will say that is something that you may need to kind of like work on and do a little bit of healing here, so that way it doesn't show up and manifest in your relationships. So with the King of Cups, but you may have been taking care of everybody else's needs before your own. And now everybody is starting to see that they're pushing your buttons. They are, and it may even feel like some are intentionally pushing your buttons because they are wanting something from you. And now your guides are coming in and saying, hey, let's pay attention to whoever is doing this, so that way we can go ahead and put ourselves on guard. And it's almost like you have a smile on your face. It's like, I was already told about you, my friend, or not so much, my friend. And let me tell you something. I already have an idea of what I want to do with this opportunity, and I am not going to let you, make me lose it. I'm not going to give it to you. This is my time to shine, my time to grow, my time to expand, my time to have good luck on my side. You at one point were a king, and now you're not. It's my time to be a queen who is able to think clearly, who has an idea of what she wants to do with her life. And this Queen of Cups paired with the Ace of Pentacles, though that is a big thing, that says there will be an opportunity to use your emotional and intuitive knowledge in a new business venture, if that is something you want to explore. And you love exploring the mysteries of life, the mysteries of spirit. So if you have a knack for, giving people advice, or, even helping counsel them, that would be something you can do, even if you are just needing a little bit more finances, or, as you are thinking about what you are inheriting. One of the things you have inherited was your guide's ability to connect with each other, with, you with them with you, you with others, and you just have a way of opening up to people. But, I love this spread, and I love that you have this energy to come in here, and your guides are just saying, focus on the areas of your life that you may feel as if there is a burnout going on. The affirmations that we have are, I am ready to take action on my emotional well-being and my mental well-being. I am infinite possibilities when I am involved in my own self-care, and I am involved in how I deal with those that are in my life in a healthy way. I have possibilities that open up consistently for me. Just because one thing closes off in my life does not mean that I won't have more out there for me. I'm going to grow and expand. I am inspiring. I am an inspiring person who is showing others that I can deal with the most grumpiest of individuals. I can deal with the moody people. Even when I start to feel my moods kind of take a dip, that I don't lose my sunflower passion around these people. I'm a creator. I'm a creator of opportunities. I'm a creator of potential. I am a creator of new beginnings in my life. And that is what your guides are wanting you to hear. And then the last thing before we go, we have, with our Moonology, a time for healing. Yes, think about what you need to heal right now. This could be take a few deep breaths, meditate, make that 5-minute promise to yourself that you're going to wind down, relax, and let this King of Cups actually be a King of Cups that is wanting to come in your life. They just may not be sure how to approach you because they see that you're turning inwards and maybe even focusing on a close friend. But do what you need to do to prevent any kind of distraction from coming through today, guys. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know how it resonates.